for the first time ever in Star Citizen's history with me as a player, I'm about to show you something incredible, something groundbreaking, quite literally, and you've got to promise me that you're not going to use this information for the wrong reasons. I'm making this video to show you an exploit, glitch, whatever you want to call it, that is absolutely broken. You can use it anywhere, including locations other than what you see here at SPK. Imagine using what you see on screen over at Jumptown, perhaps. I've made it happen, but I'm not going to show you that. I'm just going to discuss what's going on, what I think might be the cause, how it happens and why it happens, and, well, whether or not we even think this can be fixed before it really does become something that everyone comes to learn about. So for more on this weird wall walking through groundbreaking gravity-defying bug, stay tuned. For this is an episode all about the ghost of SPK. The reason SPK is at the forefront of this video is because it's going to become an extremely important location heading into 3.18, thanks to the changes that SIG are proposing to the criminal system and getting rid of your crime stat. As you can see, I walked straight into Korea from the outside without hassle. I can imagine that this would still happen in 3.18 if this bug is not resolved. I'm making this video so that it maybe can be. I don't know anything about incident reports, and frankly I've never actually written a successful one, but I will be making one after this video goes live, so if you would like to participate in trying to replicate and make sure that this bug is indeed easily repeatable like I assume and have tested it to be, that would be fantastic. The incident report is down in the description. You can click on the link, and if we can get enough votes and we can get enough replications, I think SIG will be able to have a look at it and hopefully very quickly resolve it, because in the wrong hands, this technique, this bug, this exploit can do a lot of damage. As you can see, it's basically a no-clip bug. It's not no-clip in the sense that I can just go anywhere though. There are some restrictions, and there are some very key specific details about this particular no-clipping, which I find rather interesting actually, and it might even help SIG diagnose why it happens. So let's get into the nitty-gritty details of this bug, of this exploit, and let's discuss exactly what's going on. And I just want to say, before anyone suggests anything, there is nothing else going on other than quite literally just game mechanics. The video footage, it looks a bit weird because it was recorded in HDR and Shadowplay completely messed it up. But as you can see, I can phase through ships in this no-clip state. And actually, it's the ship, this Vanguard in particular, that I believe is one of the major causes for the bug/exploit to happen. And it's weirdly consistent too. Not 100%, but it is consistent. Basically, you just have to log off inside of the upper bed, that's the bed I've been using, in the Vanguard. The upper bed has a very simple logout screen. Just hold down the F key, click logout, and wait to go back to the main menu. What you'll then want to do is right-click on one of your friends and join them. Now, it's difficult for me as a player to tell you why or what is even happening, but when you spawn back in, you'll be in the roof of your Vanguard. All you need to do then is start walking out. You'll be in your no-clip state, and basically, you'll have access to no-clip through almost any physicalized environment. Anything that has a mesh, as far as I can see. This mesh is also seemingly only whether or not it has a gravitational mesh, because as you can see, as I float through space, I'm not exactly no-clipping through things. You'll see in a clip here that I actually can still bounce off the exterior of SPK. But as soon as I join the physics grid, I become a floating body / not floating. It's sort of like I'm walking on my own plane of a physical grid. And I think that's what's happening. I'm creating or mixing different physics grids together, and the server doesn't actually know where I am. But of course, this being a client-side multiplayer game, my client tells the server, hey, look, you're on a flat plane. This gravitational plane, which is from the environment you're in, is right here. It's exactly where you left off, completely perpendicular to your feet, like it would be as the game designers have intended. But of course, if I land on the landing pad, for example, at a slight tilt or an angle, I can then start walking through the floor. What's interesting about explaining all of this at SBK is that SBK is set up in two separate physics grids, the upper floor and the lower floor. With this bug, stairs are kind of your enemy, but at SBK you can just float around the exterior until you attach yourself to the second grid. Imagine if this was a PvP scenario. No one's going to know that you're about to walk through those doors, and yes, because you are the one carrying the guns and the guns are attached to your physics grid, they can also phase through walls as well. It's not like you become invulnerable. People and things can still touch and harm you, but you can also still touch and harm them. One interesting side effect though was that I couldn't be taken down. That's a bit odd. I could still be punched and I could still be shot, but I found a random player here and I thought about asking him to just try a few things on me, and he couldn't do a takedown on me. So whatever's happening is definitely happening to your interactable physics grid, your personal bubble, if you will. Now, what happens, especially in regards to the Vanguard, I don't really know. The key culprit, I think, is actually the bed and the design of the bed inside of the Vanguard. I think this same exploit and bug could be triggered inside of a MISC Reliant, for example, but I haven't actually tested it. I know that it doesn't work inside of a Bounty Defender, but a Bounty Defender's bed is much bigger with no sort of roof to push you through. And because I believe the bug is caused by interacting with the ship's geometry and physics grid originally, and of course the size of the bed being maybe what pushes you through it when you respawn, I think it's safe to say that could be a big fundamental part of it. Now, another fundamental part of the bug is how it functions as an entire thing, as an entire event. Now, I mentioned earlier about joining in on a friend. This happened and I discovered the bug because I just joined in on a friend after trying to server hop from SBK on my server because I was having some client issues to his server. I spawned in inside the roof of my ship and could then continue to walk around completely unaffected by the physics grid and the stairs and the doors and anything else that I wanted to at SBK. I then went away to some other planetary locations and I could do the exact same thing there when I logged off and logged back in onto another friend server. It wasn't just that server, it was different servers, multiple occasions over multiple days. This bug is extremely repeatable as far as bugs are concerned, and what it allows you to do is completely game-breaking. Again, I want you guys to use this video as a reference for only replication and testing. This is, after all, a testing environment. It's an alpha. It's a game built for it. And once you have tested it, there is actually a way to get your body back on track and interacting with the physics grids like normal. You basically just have to float back into your Vanguard or back into whatever ship you use and interact with the seat. Interacting with the seat and getting into position to fly seems to reattach your character to the physics grid of the ship and therefore the physics grid of the rest of the game in sequence. And then, almost like nothing's ever happened, you can go back to playing your game session as normal. This is what I hope most of you do. Again, this is a video meant to explain the bug and hopefully give Sig a better idea of what might be happening. Maybe there are even people in the comments down below that can let me know what you think is going on. Definitely check it out if you can give this little bug the time of day it needs to really get reported and maybe even get resolved sooner rather than later. I don't think neither you or me really want this sort of exploit being available during 3.18. That could be an absolute mess. If you have any success in any other ship as well, let me know in the comments down below as well, because we can add that to the instant report. Down below the description, of course, is the instant report link, as well as my referral link. That's right, it's time to shill, baby. If you're thinking of playing this absolutely incredible bug-filled game, please consider using the referral link down below. Not only does it give you some extra things, it also helps me out as well by telling Sig that I'm awesome and doing a good job. Now, if you want to see more of me and maybe even more of the things that I get up to in Star Citizen, you can go check out the live stream over at twitch.tv/Steweymyster. I really appreciate you guys being here. It's not the sort of video I would have ever expected to make, especially not right now. I do have some other really cool videos in the pipeworks as well. Thank you guys for being patient this week. This is why it took me a while to get it out. I wanted to be really accurate with what I was saying and properly demonstrate the sort of bugs I'm encountering and what I think might be causing them. So until next time, Have an absolutely splendid weekend. Have a splendid week. I'll see you in the next one.